Heads or tails, my friend?
Heads.
He calls heads. Heads it is.
I will receive.
Oh,
First.
thought about that.
Ish.
Yeah, right? All right, here we go. Question number 1. Vikings quarterback JJ McCarthy. He's been placed in concussion protocol following a very poor outing. Overall, he hasn't been very good. When he eventually is cleared, though, should the Vikings bench him anyways because he's been so bad so far?
No, they should play him the rest of the season. They need to find out what they have there. They've invested in him as a first-round pick. He's got talent for sure, but I just think he needs to learn, and he's got to learn on the job, and this is the season to do it. They're 4-7. They basically have to win out to make the playoffs, and that's not going to happen. So you need to find out what you have going into the offseason if you have to pivot already or not. I think it's ridiculous you would be pivoting after one season when you see a guy who has some talent. I don't know if he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. I highly doubt that. I'm not a big JJ McCarthy fan, but I give him the benefit of the doubt, and you got to run it the rest of the year.
So it kind of depends what happens this weekend because they're playing Seattle and they're probably going to lose. But if they win with Max Brosmer at quarterback, then you keep trying to win. They're 3 games out of a playoff spot right now, and if they lose this weekend, they very well could be 4. So if they lose this weekend with Brosmer, as soon as McCarthy's back, put him in there because, as I like to say, once you're out of it, everything becomes a preseason game for the following season. So give him more reps. So it depends on the outcome this weekend. I expect they'll lose, and then in which case I put McCarthy right back in there as soon as he's back.
I would bench him if Carson Wentz weren't out for the year. They need a reliable veteran backup so he can watch and learn from. But since he's not there and it's the rookie Mac Brosmer, like you said, Doug, then he's not going to learn anything from that guy. That guy's probably learning from JJ at this point. This is not a good situation for the Vikings. So with that being said, they got to play JJ when he's healthy because now the only way for him to learn is get reps. But I just don't want that to do more damage than good because to pick up bad habits, that can go a long way. That's why I would want him to sit, but they don't really have any other choice, so it's play JJ. All right, Jamar Chase released a statement apologizing for his actions last week versus the Steelers. He apologized to a lot of people, but he never mentioned Jalen Ramsey's name in the statement at all. Does that make this apology worthless?
Well, it's worthless to Jalen Ramsey. Obviously, he shows little to no remorse towards the victim. But the apology isn't going to change the punishment. So is the apology worthless? No. He is sorry that he hurt his team, and he's sorry that he let people down that root for him. And quite frankly, moving forward, that's what probably matters most in his world is the people that his actions have impacted. I would not say that this is a great apology, but I don't think it's worthless. I think it has worth to Bengals fans and his teammates.
Let me start by saying I like Jamar Chase as a player. I think he's fun to watch. I think the relationship he has with Joe Burrow, the two on the field when they play together, are outstanding. That being said, this is totally worthless, and he's a lying sack of crap because you were presented the opportunity after that game when reporters asked you specifically about spitting on Jalen Ramsey, and you denied it. You denied it. You flat out lied to everybody, and then, wait a minute. I'm being told there's video evidence, and then you wait a full week before you come out with another apology or an apology. I'm sorry. It's completely worthless. It's ridiculous the way that he worded it. And then you don't even mention his name. What? Completely worthless.
I love it, Gator. But I am going to kind of side more with Doug on this one. I think it's only worthless to Ramsey. I mean, I think he truly does feel sorry for, his own team, his organization, his coaches, his teammates, the fans, even the Steelers organization, except for Jalen Ramsey. That's where the worthless part does come in. What did Jalen Ramsey do or say to make this where so bad where Jamar Chase refuses to apologize to him? He basically says, no, I'm not apologizing for doing that to him. Everything else around it that came after, I'm sorry that happened. But, yeah, this is – I got to know what happened, man. He will not apologize to Jalen Ramsey. It's worthless to Jalen Ramsey. All right, both Myles Garrett and Jackson Smith-Njigba are on pace to break single-season records this year in the NFL. Garrett for sacks, JSN for receiving yards. Which would be more impressive if broken?
I mean, obviously, both are really impressive records. Calvin Johnson's got the receiving record with like 1,960 yards or something like that, and Smith and Jigba already has 1,300. And then the sack record is J.J. Watt's with 22.5, and Myles Garrett's at 18. Myles Garrett could break the record this week. But Smith and Jigba has been incredibly consistent. He's got consistent. 8 games, he's got 100 yards or more. 10 of the 11 games he's playing, he's got 90 yards or more. It's really impressive for both. It's kind of splitting hairs, but I think because what Myles Garrett is capable of doing, like he could break the record this weekend, if not next week. He's going to smash the record. And then that to me is more impressive. But until you do it, you haven't done it.
It's Myles Garrett. He's going to get MVP votes on a 3-win team. Think about this, too. He has 18.5 sacks. And, of course, you can only get a quarterback sack when the other team drops back to pass. And in part because the Browns are always losing, opponents don't have to pass as much because they're winning and just running out the clock. Browns opponents have thrown 304 passes this year. That is the second least in the NFL. So he has less chances to accrue those sacks. 18.5 sacks against a collective fewer dropbacks than all teams but one makes this more impressive in my book.
So to me, whoever does it in lesser games is more impressive, especially if it's 16 games or less, because those are the records they're beating. The games that those guys only got to play 16 games this year. Now we all know it's a 17-game regular season, but Garrett is on pace to do it in less than 16 games. And overall, if they were to break it in the same amount of games, I would agree with you, Doug. It's Myles Garrett. I think it's harder to get sacks than receiving yards overall. You bring up the point that hey, they're a bad team, and other teams are probably running more against them than actually throwing the ball. So Myles Garrett, a beast. I hope he does it. And it smashes it within 16 games. And everything in the 17th game is just icing on the cake. All right, Chip Kelly was fired this week. Is he just destined to be a college head coach again?
Well, I first have to start to wonder why he's been at 3 different places in 3 years. As he got to that point in his career where maybe there's something else going on. But he's been at UCLA, Ohio State, and the Raiders. His last 3 seasons at UCLA were all winning seasons. And you know, UCLA would give anything right now for a stretch like that. He went 46-7 at Oregon. So he called plays for the national champion last year as the offensive coordinator in Columbus. He had a terrible game against Michigan. But I think the bottom line is you look at his success, it's in college. I think it makes sense. Go back to the college game.
Yeah, I think it would make sense at some small school if he wants it. I mean, look, Bryles was just hired. The former Baylor coach was just hired at Eastern New Mexico University. So it screams to be some sort of direction in front of the school name where perhaps Chip Kelly goes. But as Doug points out, I mean, this guy was a head coach just a few years ago at UCLA and brought them to a winning record. I think he's kind of like this weird eccentric type genius guy that is hard to really understand and relate to. But he clearly knows football, but it just hasn't been a lasting impression he's left lately.
Yeah, I think Chip Kelly's style is just more suited for the college game. I think he's done with the pros. I think Pete Carroll, you know, old buddies, gave him a shot. Obviously, did not work out. I think he ends up at some like directional tech school, like you said. Yeah. Like it's going to be like the hairstylist for, you know, mimes in northern Colorado. I have no idea. But that's where he ends up. And I think it'll be good for both of them. With less pressure, he can run his crazy offense. But yeah, college is where Chip Kelly should be.
And the mimes be.
What are they, the Fighting Yaks?
Well, yeah, and they don't have to talk back.
No.
All right, refs in the Cowboys-Eagles game. They admitted they blew a roughing the punter call this week, all right, this past week. The story here, though, is they actually admitted that they just didn't have the advanced video in time from the broadcast partner, Fox, and they kind of blamed Fox for not having it, so they couldn't use replay assist to step in. Your thoughts on this, guys?
I mean, come on, really? Is that what you're going to say, NFL? You're going to throw one of your partners under the bus? Why don't you just do the simple thing, all right? If that's really the excuse, okay, let's say that's legitimate, that we just couldn't get the video in time. Do you have the ability to buzz down to the official? Oh, you do? Okay. How about you just buzz down and you communicate with them? Hang on, just give us a second. We're still trying to figure this out. Haven't had the video up yet. Can you wait 5 seconds? Okay, hang on 5 seconds. Yeah, that's a roughing. Like, do that. All it takes a few more seconds of time. Just buzz down and let them know that you're still waiting for the video. Don't blame your partner that, we didn't have video in time.
If only the NFL had the resources and the finance to fund their own video enhancement technology. Honestly, there's no excuse for this billion-dollar industry to not have up-to-date tech on that they could run on their own.
Yeah, this is 2025. They print money. How do they not have some company giving them enhanced video replay instantly? Instantly. This is completely unacceptable. We're not asking for your Netflix passcode to share. Are they sharing Netflix, you think? The NFL is that cheap? Are they sharing Hulu accounts? What are they doing? This is unacceptable. All right, last one here, guys. Matthew Stafford. He's currently the favorite to win the NFL MVP. That's right. He's 37 years old. But Sean McVay said that he could play 10 more years if he wanted to. But seriously, how many more years do you think Stafford's going to play?
So there have been 20 40-year-old quarterbacks who've played in the history of the NFL, 20 of them. George Blanda threw 3 passes for the Raiders at 48 years old. With that as a backdrop, the unpredictable variable is his health. I would bet he doesn't play more than 3 more seasons because what he has is elite arm strength, and when that starts to go, you get late career Peyton Manning vibes, who noticeably lost his fastball his last year at the age of 39. So I'll say 3 years at most.
It's tricky with him because, yes, there's without question, he's got an injured past, and it can be, he's one hit away as everybody else is from retiring. But I think he's really enjoying his run right now. I'm going to go a little bit longer. I'm going to say it's 5 years, and I'm tying that directly to what Puka Nakua's future is with the Rams as well. He's only 24. Stafford's 37, but I think he likes, working with Puka Nakua. And as long as the Rams are a key contender in the NFC, there's no reason for him not to play unless it's just family and he wants to step aside, which is the other big factor, I guess, that could come calling and saying, all right, Matthew, you've had enough, whatever Kelly's going to say. But as far as being a competitor, I think he's in great shape. I think he can be competitive for at least another 5 years.
So I'm thinking 2 more years. I mean, yeah, he's in great shape now, and he said he feels good now. But if you remember, he started the year, he was hurt. They're talking about maybe cutting him, seeking a trade, whatever it was. He's gone through a lot. You saw how tough he was here. He got hit a lot here. He's getting hit a lot more over with the Rams as well. So after 2 years, I think he calls it quits. And then after 3 months of home with Kelly, I think he announces a comeback immediately. And then he will play 3 or 4 more years after that because, let's be honest, he don't want to go back home.
There it is. That concludes the Wide 9 Omaha 4 Down Around the League Blitz thingy.